The Village Council special meeting to order for Tuesday, May 28th, 2019. We'll begin with the Pledge of Allegiance and moment of silence. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Bailey? Absent. Frost?
Here.
Roma?
Yes.
Kemp?
Here.
Hogan?
Here.
I'll entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
Make a motion to approve the agenda at the May 28th regular council meeting is presented.
Support.
There's a motion with support to approve the agenda for the special meeting, May 28th, 2019. All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? All right, at this time, we will do a call to the public. This is open for public comment. Council will listen. We may refer you to the manager to follow up. But generally, during public comment, we don't respond. So if you're interested, you're welcome to come to the podium. And if you would, state your name, address, and your business.
Rose Bama, Pearl Street. While I was disappointed that you had your budget sessions held at 7 o'clock in the morning, I can kind of understand, but that omitted a bunch of us who would normally coming to it. And the other thing I'd like to mention is I'm hoping that in your budget you included a DPW worker that's been needed for the last couple of years. They've been short one. So.
Thank you. Any other public comment?
Max Shank, 4163 Locust Valley Lane. I'm a fifth grader at OES, and I am doing a project on PYP exhibition. And my line of inquiry is an inquiry into what's in our food and its effects on humans and the environment. And my research has shown one of the best ways to control what's in our food is to buy local farm fresh products from small farmers. A farmer's market in Oxford would make these local local homegrown products accessible to our community. So I am here tonight to ask the council to bring farmer's market back to Oxford. I understand that there were reasons why it left, but its benefits outweigh the challenges it may present. Some suggestions I have that might make a difference are using Centennial Park, using one of the Oxford Schools parking lots, or partnering with Oxford Township to hold at one of the township parks like Seymour Lake. Thank you very much for your time tonight and for considering the return of Oxford Farmers Market.
Thank you, Matt. Well done.
Thank you.
Yes. Mr. Madore, can you add the farmer's market to our next regular meeting schedule? Sure. Or, excuse me, agenda for discussion? So at our next meeting, Matt, we're going to have that on our agenda. We're going to discuss it. That will give us, if it's not on our agenda, we can't discuss it and we can't act on it, if that makes sense. So we'll put it on our agenda for our next regular meeting, second Tuesday of June. I don't have the date in front of me. But if you want to come back, Matt, and bring some friends, we'd love to hear more about the farmer's market, and we'll discuss as a council and figure out how we can get that coming back to Oxford. Thank you so much.
Can I ask Matt a question?
Sure.
What does PUIP stand for?
Primary Years Program.
Okay.
Thank you. Any other public comment?
Can I say it right from here?
It's better if you come to the podium because then you're picked up on the video.
Shank. I don't know if I spelled it right.
Linda Barnick, 86 Dayton Street. Last meeting I was at, we were discussing the barrier at the end of Dayton Street. And we were here because we thought we were going to discuss it today because it was in the paper. But I would also like to ask, when we came last week, I think we thought we were just discussing ideas. I didn't really realize that we were making a permanent vote that day. But I've been thinking about it since, and I'm wondering who takes care of the lights on traffic and on 24, because if all the traffic is going to be going south on 24 during construction of the road, and if there's a fire, the light turns on in front of the fire department, so all traffic stops right there till the fire trucks or emergency trucks or whatever comes out. And they're worried about getting a fire truck as quickly as possible to the west side of Oxford. It just seems that whoever controls the light, if they kept the light on Burdick, because no one can go across, no one can turn there, that if they kept the light on and traffic kept moving, by the time a police car got out, they would go right down to that light and make a right and be on Burdick instead of making 5 turns through neighborhoods, which would take up, I think, a lot more time than just going down and making 1 turn onto Burdick to make them go anywhere. I believe it could be safer, quicker. You wouldn't have to go through Waterstones Drive once you get through all the neighborhoods to get where you're going. You would have quicker access to emergencies and fires. So I don't know who controls light, if MDOT does or whatever, but that's a suggestion I think should have maybe been considered. Thank you.
Thanks, Linda.
Thanks, Linda.
And just to note for the public that are in attendance tonight, this topic, Dayton Street and the enforcement of that, will be at our next regular meeting as well.
On the 11th?
On the, whatever date that is, yeah, 11th. Is that the 11th? Yeah.
Okay. Well,
Any other public comment? All right, seeing no further public comment, we'll move on to our consent agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from the budget workshop on May 21st, 2019.
Support? There's a motion from Helmuth and support from Logan to approve the minutes for the May 21st budget work session. All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? All right, the ayes have it, the motion carries. Moving on to new business. Adoption of the 2019-2020 budget, resolution 2019-11. Mr. Madore?
Yeah, and I think you guys saw in the email I sent out last Wednesday, based on the workshop of Tuesday, I incorporated some of those changes down in the categories which we looked at for like the public PR version stuff, so. And then I also included some funding based on that discussion. That was an option for you to consider, again, just based on that feedback from that date. And those are down in that one category. Public Relations, category 960, on page 42. I'm looking at line 42 now. It's actually page 12 at the top. So those are about the only changes based on our discussions at that meeting at the workshop. I did actually back and say we did get some updates on the revenues later that day as well. Those were the latest versions of changes made based on our discussion.
Thank you. Any discussion from council on the budget before us this evening?
I think we've beaten the horse. I think we're good.
Yeah, I agree.
Just on the public relations budget, that's still going to be with partial funding matched from the DDA fund, correct?
Yeah, theirs is already incorporated into theirs.
Rolled up, okay.
Their intentions, as we discussed, was to bring someone on in January, the last 6 months of their budget. I think maybe just 1 day a week for 6 months was their intention.
And we're budgeted to do that after this fiscal year goal.
Yeah, this was a kind of roundabout number between our 20 and their 6,600, I think it was. Kind of put us in the ballpark of what some of the numbers you were looking at.
Yeah, okay. Great.
I do see an error with my spreadsheet though, now that I look at it under that line item. The,
What page is it again?
on line 433, the public relations, community promotions. Instead of 2,500, it says 25,000. Remember that was 5,000, I want to reduce it to 2,500, because that's where the youth assistance comes out of.
All right,
Fat fingered and there's a zero in there.
right.
That's what
What does that do to our bottom line?
Well, there's an extra 22,500 in it. That shouldn't be in that expense. I can print out that page real quick and, oh, it is. It improves it greatly because I overexpended it.
Would you like us to take a short recess for you to do that?
If you'd like me to do that, I would be happy to do so.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, I'd like to have it correct before we approve it.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to go into recess.
Support.
There's a motion to go into recess with support. We will recess for 10 minutes. All right, this meeting is back in session, and we are discussing our new business, adoption of the 2019-2020 budget, Resolution 2019-11. Mr. Madore, do you want to get us back up to speed?
Recap. Yes, so the budget is balanced by pulling 43,000, a little over 43,000 out of fund balance the budget. So that's basically how much we're in the red this year for the budget. Right side of that is we have a final bond payment this year of $233,000 for a Pulp 2005 bond issue. It's due next spring, I think it is. That's the final payment that has to hit this budget. $233,000 is a lot in your budget. I think we can all breathe easy next year when that final bond payment is made. With the funds that we appropriated into for the part-time worker in the PR category, is part of that $43,000 negativity. But again, looking forward, there's a lot of light at the end of the tunnel.
And Mr. Madore, this includes an additional full-time police officer,
Yes,
correct?
it does. This does include an additional full-time police officer, something that has been wanted for a number of years. We talked briefly about it last year at budget time, and it was put off for another year.
Right.
And so that includes another police vehicle, which was kind of planned to be purchased in the next budget year, as well as upgrading to a full-time position.
Any council discussion?
No, not for me.
Thanks for finding my mistake there, though.
It's my superpower. Not my own mistakes, just other people's.
Yeah.
Would you like me to balance your bank book? Just give it to me.
I don't have a bank book.
Can we? It's for the budget, but we don't need it for tonight's budget. Contracts that are up, GFL is up this year, I think.
Yes.
Bob Davis is up.
I think this is already expired, perhaps. I gave a list of that back, I think it was last fall.
I seem to remember having,
Yeah, I'd say.
Could you send it again to refresh our memory?
Absolutely.
thanks.
Yeah, GFL is coming to meet with me tomorrow to begin talking about that process. I believe, it's sometime August or October-ish, I think that it runs out.
I think it's the end of August. The word rubbish caught my eye, and then
Yeah.
it goes from there. Does anyone have any questions?
Yeah, I'm just not there yet.
I'll wait.
And just a reminder to the council that per our village charter, this needs to be passed tonight.
And what's the
And if
protocol for making an amendment? Is there a timeline based on? if
we
there's-
can make an amendment from the day this is adopted until the day that it, like, runs out at the end of the fiscal year. We can make amendments at any time, correct?
We made a few of them over the last winter, spring, or in the fall, and winter, like when we added another cell phone for the police department, come back, the amendment to that cost center. I think we've brought 6 or so through that time frame to council for various things. Recently, I think it was one for the crashed vehicle. So. And I'm always open if anybody wants to stop in and drill down a little more if they're available.
How much colored ink have you gone through?
Ink?
Colored ink.
A bucket.
Luckily, we're not out of red.
Well, printing on the larger paper does help, I think, though.
I make a motion to adopt Resolution 2019-11 to adopt the 2019-2020 budget as presented.
Support.
There's a motion with support. Any discussion?
The only discussion I have is based around, I guess how DDA in this budget is, I guess, aligned or intersectional rather on some of community events and promotions, things like that, but that's really nitty gritty, and I think that it just maybe would merit an amendment like later down the road, so I don't have, other than that, I don't have any concerns, so that's good.
Thank you, Ms. Logan. Any other comments? All right, seeing none, we will move on to a vote. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Logan?
Yes.
Kemp?
Yes.
Talbot?
Yes.
Ross?
Yes.
Bailey? Absent.
All right, moving on the agenda to public comment. So again, this is another opportunity for public comment during the meeting. So if anyone has public comment, they're invited to come to the podium and give their comments.
Rose Bama, earlier I forgot to ask, will the 4 or 5 items that were tabled from the last agenda be on the June 11th agenda?
I believe so, yeah.
We will make it so.
So we're getting on this thing.
Any other public comment? All right, seeing none, moving on to council comments. Ms. Logan?
I just want to say, as it pertains to the budget, I hope that our residents find that this is the most efficient budget that we could push forward. I feel pretty confident in it, and although it's my first official budget, and I know I've got some learning to do on the ins and outs of everything on municipal budgeting, but I feel confident this is the best we could produce, and I feel pretty good about it. So thank you. I just want to thank Joe and Terry and all the work that they've done on it, and my fellow council members, because I know we pulled some serious extra hours putting this together, making sure that this was the best product that we could put out for our community. So thanks, everyone.
Thank you, Mrs. Helmuth.
Police Department, great job on the parade yesterday. especially the 10 out of 14 reserve officers that came. Couldn't do it without them. Light traffic yesterday is a beautiful thing. They did have, one of the officers is trying on a new style vest. Do you want to give some more information on that, Mike? It's very lighter to wear. You can move more comfortably in them, and they were actually kind of cool. Yeah, great.
Chief Mike Sowell, Oxford PD. Councilman Mo Helmuth was referring to, one of my officers, full-time officers, paid out of his own uniform allowance, asked for my permission to try an outer garment vest, which is on the outside of your shirt instead of on the inside. And that is starting to alleviate some stress on your waist when you're sitting in the car. Instead of it all being down here, it's up here now. So it's got nothing to do with the tack vest that we're currently working on to put in the car, because those are ballistic and for saving us from rifle rounds in a massive shooting situation. But these are the actual real vests that we wear every day. I shouldn't say real vest, but I mean the everyday vest that we wear on the outermost garment. And it still shows, it's got all the equipment up here, and it still shows that he's Oxford PD, so it has his nameplate, and it looks very professional. So we are trying that out. She got a first-hand look at it yesterday. So.
He said it was better for his back. He wasn't having trouble with his hips and all the weight that he's carrying. So I thought it was pretty neat.
It is. They're finding out that after doing this for 10, 20, 30 years, it puts a lot of torque on us with all this equipment. I mean, I'm wearing right now about 20, 25 pounds of equipment, and they wonder why a bad guy gets a jump on us. It's like, just running with all this weight on us. But it just seems like more and more we're starting to add more and more with tasers and guns and magazines and vests and all kinds of stuff. So it does alleviate around the waist. And when you're getting around on your waist, and also when you're getting out of the car, I mean, now you have to purchase car seats now to alleviate, because getting out of the car, you're scraping in and out, and you're putting holes in the seats of the police cars now, and now the stuffing's starting to come out of the seats now, so it's like, so you're rubbing in all this stuff in and out of the car, so having it up here is a little bit more comfortable. I'm finding out, my opinion on the outer garment vest is great for that situation, but it also, you can take it off when you're sitting at the desk if you're doing a report, so you can take that weight off you and set it aside and do your report. But you have to make sure you put it back on when you go back out. So there's been situations where, you know, hey, don't leave out your vest. See, me, it's already on, I'm not going anywhere without it. So, yeah, it is something that we're trying out, and he seems to like it so far, so we'll see if that can't make these guys more comfortable.
It also holds your taser at a location that's not equivalent to your gun. So there's no, oh, I grabbed the wrong thing. It's a totally different motion.
Interesting.
Well, we wait, regardless of an outer garment vest or not, we still have to have the taser on our...
But it's not here, it's here.
Yeah. Because for me, if I'm going to go for my taser, I have to do a cross draw. So that means I automatically know I'm not going for my...
Would you be able to share a picture with, I mean, like, in an email, just with council?
Oh, sure, yeah, absolutely.
I just want to get an idea of, like,
Yeah.
what's the new tactical, not the tactical vests, but the vests that you said. I would only be hesitant to get excited about it if it looked militant, because
Right, yeah. Well, that was my concern too. I
Yeah.
don't want to have all this stuff wandering around. I mean, this is a small community. I don't
It
want
is.
to have, these guys wandering around looking tactical like we're getting ready to, go into battle or something like that. Every day is like a battle.
Okay, sit down. No, I'm kidding.
We're going to try and be careful. Anyway, any more questions?
Not for that.
Okay.
Thanks, Chief.
And then, did everybody notice that the big topic in the Oxford Leader was increased sewer usage in the township because of the new sewer line? Well, it's not about increased volume. That's totally what it's about. I just want to say that. When they ask for the sewer, it's totally about increasing their abilities and increasing their REUs, and that's what this agreement's about. It's not about not having to maintain the different parts. And then I would like to say that Dayton Street was supposed to be on the agenda, and I'm not happy that it was taken off. And when this council puts something on agenda, I'd like it on the agenda. So, just an FYI. And that's it.
Ms. Kemp?
Thank you. I would just like to thank, staff and council members who, as we all worked through the budget, and this was my first budget session, or my first budget go-through, so appreciate all of the extra help and clarification, and I loved the parade yesterday. It was wonderful to have that, small-town community feel that we're all striving for.
Thank you. Thanks again, Chief, for you and your crew yesterday. It was well done. Don, same with yours. And I know you guys maintain downtown, and it looks great. It looked incredible and presentable. So thank you for all the hard work you do behind the scenes. Staff, echo my colleagues' comments in terms of the budget. Thank you for all the work that you've done and coming in early mornings. I know that a lot of folks are not in favor of the early morning meetings, but unfortunately, that's where sometimes we have to squeeze things in, especially those of us who have children. So with that, we'll move on to, it's not on the agenda here, but I'll still entertain staff comments.
Yes, and I had a small report, just to make it quick tonight, about the Dayton Street enforcement. I had spoke to our Attorney Bob Davis. He has given me some initial feedback on that. And I didn't take it up intentionally, Mo. I thought initially when I was talking about the stuff that was tabled at the previous meeting was going to maybe go on this, and the initial feedback was, no, we just want to talk about the budget that night. And perhaps I missed it then when we talked about having this part back on, because my thought has been stuck in, no, we just want to keep it to the budget tonight. And other stuff would be pushed to the normal meeting, because we even went back and forth. Did they say the next meeting or the next regular meeting when the stuff would be pushed to? So my apologies there. DPW, we haven't got a worker hired yet for our summer. Don has had a few contacts. I don't think he's ever actually physically caught up with any of them. They actually had a face-to-face interview, even though that was the plan on a couple of times. One of our DPW workers, Tom McNeese, had to go out a week ago and had neck surgery, had like a piece of his spine removed, and his neck area will be off for 1 to 3 months. We're not sure. So summertime, short-staffed on a full-timer, and no takers on the part-time as of yet. So just keep that in mind. When you see all this beautiful work they're doing out there, they're doing it some of their hands tied behind their back, unfortunately. And then I just want to apologize for the oversight on the printout tonight. Back and forth, I don't know how many times we printed it out this year, a lot, and that's been good. But I'm a stickler. I need to get it right the first time. So room to improve.
Cool.
We all do.
Terry, do you have any comments?
No, I do not.
Chief?
Actually, I do I didn't get a chance to, I want to thank Mo for her help yesterday. She helped us on one of the streets directing traffic for us. That's something that she's been doing for years.
And that is not court-appointed community service.
Exactly.
I do that in case I need those hours in the future.
Well, I want to make sure that we thanked you too. Yes, we had 14 reserves and 10 out of our 14 did show up, which I think is fabulous because it's a holiday weekend and 10 out of 14 I think is good odds. So we did have a good turnout for that. But I wanted to thank Mo as well because she did come in and help us as usual. And I want to thank council too. That full-time position that we got approved in the budget was a position that we lost back in 2008 when the economy went bad. And it will be it will be used very well with the agency, and we're looking forward to plugging a full-time officer and having some continuity with the agency. So as the chief of police and the actual police department, we really thank you a lot, and I'm ready to get my hands busy. So thank you.
Thank you. Don? Okay. All right, seeing no further staff comments, we will move on to adjournment. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved at 7:23.
Support.
There's a motion to adjourn with support at 7:23. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed? All right, this meeting is adjourned. Thank you all.